it's Stacey Jackson, and thank you so much for joining me today on Stacey Jackson Live on Instagram. I'm so excited. Today, I'm actually talking to, she's a relative of mine, a wonderful, wonderful author, a mom of three, and I'm just going to get her on now. Her name is Sharon Neiss Arbess. I have to say, I'm going to introduce a little bit longer. She has written a bunch of books. I'm super proud to call her a cousin of mine. I'm going to join right now. I don't know. I think there must be a button that I'm supposed to press for her to join. I'm not sure. Maybe she just has to join on. Sharon just has to come on. I'm wondering if she's there. Sharon, you there? Can you just push join? Maybe I need to invite you to join me. There must be something that I have to do here. Hold on, I'm just, Sharon, there we go. I'm inviting. You know, I've done this now a few times and I'm so not tech. It's crazy. Sharon, are you there? I hope you're on. Anyways, I'll just yak for a second until she figures out. I think I've just invited her, so she should connect. So Sharon and I go way back. I mean, obviously we're related. So her grandmother and my grandmother were sisters. So that, I guess, makes us second cousins or first cousins once removed. I don't know where you are, babe. I'm going to invite you again and see if that works. Sharon Neiss, go ahead, send request. I invited you now, second time. Click on, babe. Do you see me? Okay, I'll just keep talking until she joins. I'll do it again. Maybe there's, oh my God, this is so crazy. Sharon, I'm requesting you to join, send request. I don't know why this isn't connecting. This is crazy. Sharon is unable to join. Why? I just got a little pop-up that she can't join. She must be freaking out. Okay, let's try it again. Hi, everybody who's on watching me like suffer through all this technical jargon. I just don't know what here. Let's try Sharon again. Send request. Okay, I'll just keep talking. She's written a bunch of books, at least 3 that I know of. One of them we're going to talk about today.
Okay, finally. Woo! I tried.
I thought I'm so
Wait,
not
what's
tech.
wrong? I tried. Maybe it's like I'm in a different room in my house where the light is really bright because I wanted that. And it's like I'm clicking, like I'm here.
Okay.
Anyhow.
Well, we're obviously
here
not
and it's all good.
of the tech generation, sweetie. But anyway, I was going on and on about how wonderful you are, and you are my cousin.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I've already said that we are our grandmothers were sisters, so
They
that
were.
makes us second cousins or first cousins once removed. I don't know what it is, but we're
just second cousins will do.
Second cousins. We went to the same uni.
We did.
And but we had a childhood together. I mean, you used to take my aerobics classes back in the 80s, which we'll talk about.
I totally remember that. They were good classes.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to give you a proper introduction now that we've got all the tech crap out of the way.
Awesome.
So you are incredible. You're an incredible motivator. You're super accomplished. I mean, you've written a bunch of books.
Really.
You have, and we'll talk about the journey of you becoming an author, because I have to say, like, I remember if I ever asked you what did you want to do when you grew up, when we were like 12, I don't know if you would have said you were going to write a bunch of books. But I want to, we'll get there in this chat. What I wanted to say a few things. First, there is a must read for teenage girls. It's My So-Called Friends, and if anybody who's watching has any daughters, they must read it. It's exceptional. And then she also, I believe that your other book, Brave the Waves, which was something like, it's basically programmed to build resilient kids, and I believe, based on me following you over the years, that this is actually used as a textbook or something in some school curriculum. So, I mean, you obviously know your crap. You know what you're talking about. So, and then your last one, or your most recent one, is what we're going to focus on, which is Get Up. But talk to me quickly about Brave the Waves, because it's a totally different type of book from a children's or teenage book to writing a book that actually ends up being the sort of guide or the go-to book to build resilient children in Canada.
Mhm.
And so tell me a bit about that book, and then how it led you to the one that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. So my first book is called Me and My So-Called Friends, which tells the story of a 15-year-old girl from Montreal. It is fiction, who goes through a very, very challenging year. And there are lots of subjects that seem to pop up in people's conversations after reading the book, such as communication skills, friendships, school academic issues, goal reaching, just trouble with your friends. And so I was approached by somebody to say, hey, you need to bring this book into the classroom. So I could have just sold the book. Here you go, classroom. There you go. Read the book and you figure it out. But I decided to take it one step further and create a teacher's manual. So Brave the Waves is actually a teacher's manual that is based on themes from this book. And the type of themes that are discussed are friendships, nutrition, body image, sexuality, and all of these themes have exercises that teachers can teach to their kids.
Are
So
they
it's, go
mental
ahead.
kind of exercises, or are we talking physical exercise, or both?
Both. Like, for example, one of my favorites is deals with empathy. So it's actually a hands-on exercise where two kids take butcher paper, like a big piece of paper, and they outline, someone lies down and they outline someone's body. And then the person leaves
Like you
like
see
that.
like you see on a crime scene.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then they look at the body and they talk about it and they say, when you feel nervous or anxious, where on the body do you feel it? And they mark an X. Maybe it's the stomach, maybe it's the head, maybe you get sweaty palms. And so by actually pointing to the part of the body where there is feelings of anxiousness and stress, it's real. And it's
No, it's
acknowledged.
physiological. They could
It's
relate to it
acknowledged,
because
like,
it's a
yeah,
pain.
I feel that too. And how do you feel? And then you talk about it. How do you handle it? What do you do when your palms are sweaty? What do you do when you suddenly have a headache? When you're like about to take a really big test? So those are the types of exercises and I guess lessons that are taught with Brave the Waves. So it's in 6 schools in Toronto and has been a great success and it's still for sale. So I'm able to, is there a school? I'll ship the program to you.
Well, good for you. And then how did you
Thanks.
transition from that book to this motivational book, and that includes physical exercise? I mean, because your new book, Get Up, which it's so brilliant. First of all, it's basically a compilation of, well, it's short stories, right? And
Yeah.
then and then each story afterwards has like an exercise that you have to do. So how
Right.
did you come up with that idea, and how do you connect the story to a physical exercise, and also why exercise? I mean, I'm going to talk to you about exercise in a second because you know how much I love exercise. But I mean, how did that happen? Like, how did you think of that? I mean, the sort of
Okay,
collaborating.
so I can't take the credit. I didn't think of it on my own. This was definitely a hashtag Better Together project. This was a collaboration.
Right.
So I was approached by Lisa Borden from Borden Communications. She has a small marketing firm. Her daughter read Me and My So-Called Friends several times. And she said, it's such a great book. And I said, yeah, and I thank you. And I want to continue to write to this demographic. There's something about it that I'm just attracted to. Maybe it's the incredible amount of change that happens from grade school to high school. I mean,
Right.
everything changes.
Right.
So the academics, body, responsibilities, extracurriculars. The list is endless for the amount of change that happens during middle school. So I really wanted to connect to that demographic. So Lisa was working with David Newton, and he's like a really big movement therapist here in Toronto.
Right.
And he's also written some books. And we all know how amazing exercise feels, right? Especially when
Yeah.
you're having a bad day. It's the best therapy. You know that. You put on your music and you just go.
Yeah.
And it's the best.
Yeah.
So there's something about reading about a story, a lesson, feeling something, and then just and working out or meditating or stretching or lifting. So it's not all about extraneous exercise. There's a whole bunch of different types of exercises in Get Up, but they match perfectly with the stories that I shared.
Okay.
And what are the stories that I shared? There's 30 chapters, and each chapter is divided into 4 parts. The first part is a lesson that I went through. This is a type of story,
And is
nothing
it something
major.
personal to you? So this is a lesson that
Yes,
you've lived and you just want to
yes,
share. Okay. So this is a
yes.
personal journey for you in a way. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. So then after that story, oh, some stories, by the way, are slightly, I had to twist it for personal reasons. Most are based on a true story,
Right.
but there are some that are a little bit of fiction.
I
Anyhow,
know the, I
then,
know that. We
then,
discussed this.
yeah, then comes the exercise that matches matches the story. And then, and this is where you come in because you're a part of this book. I've asked over 60 people who are filled with wisdom, stories, success, failures, have Generation X, I think, people who have lived on this earth long enough to learn a couple lessons,
Mm-hmm.
to answer the question, what would you say to your teenage self? And that is a loaded question, don't you think?
Absolutely. And that's, I wanted, because I remember when we were kids and I remember you and you were a little younger than me. And, but I
1 year.
remember, but I mean, would you have said that, what would you have said to yourself? Because I'm so enamored by of your success and how you've become, this amazing novelist and storyteller. And
Thank you.
I just want to know, like, when you were, is because for me, like, if you asked me and you knew this, what did I want to do when I was a teenager? I am actually doing what I wanted to do. If you asked me when I was 13 or 14, I would want to be a pop singer or a TV presenter, and I'm living my dream. So
That's amazing.
how did your journey end up here? Did you always know that you wanted to do this? And what would you have said to yourself in order to achieve this? Like, what made you plow on to get to this amazing goal?
Thank you. You're very kind, and you're like showering me with compliments. I'm in awe. So thank you. I just kind of followed what I was good at, to be honest. So I think in high school, someone pointed out, you have something, you're able to capture people's attention with what you write, with your writing. I'm like, oh, interesting.
And was
And
this
I,
an inspiring person to you, obviously? Like, do you
yeah, like
remember this
something
person
about
telling
you.
you that you could do this?
Yeah, so someone said like you something about your writing, and then my grandmother, not on our side, but on my mother's side, I wrote a letter to her, and she said, "There's something about Sharon's writing, as if I'm sitting with her and she's talking to me." So then I kind of pursued that, and then the idea of the program that we went to together. You were a year ahead of me, but something really intrigued me about that program. I think it was because my guidance counselor in CEGEP, which is 2 years after high school, said to me, Sharon, nobody gets in that program. Only 25% of applicants get in. You're not going to get in. And I said, Oh,
I
yes,
always felt like fabulous. I love
I'm
that
going.
program.
I'm getting in. I'm going. So that really intrigued me. So then after I got in, I took script writing courses, and then my teacher said, "You've got something. Like, I don't know what it is." And I went, "Oh, I'm actually good at something." Because like I was never good at math. I was never like a huge scholar, but when a teacher says to you in university, "You've got a voice," I ran with it.
Good.
And then I worked in advertising, and I was a copywriter. And I have to say, after looking back in hindsight, it was the most unsupportive, unfriendly, unwelcoming, not a happy place. It's like Mad Men, I mean, look what happened to Peggy. I mean, she did it really well, but I look at Peggy and I'm like, yeah, that was me working all the time and just like not having a life.
But
But
all of that was part of your journny. So like
it's
even if
part of
you
the
were
journey,
slogging it and maybe you had a
100%.
shitty boss or you know all of that leads to where you are. Like you said, whether it's not really loving what you're doing but you're doing it anyway, or failing at what you're doing, or you're down a path that you don't know where it's gonna, but actually you look back at it and you're like, all those experiences make
Yes,
you who you are, and then you can come and write about it and then give unbelievable advice as a result. I do want to ask you one more question before
sure.
we were talking about exercise, and you're taking class and music and stuff, but and what are your plans next? Because you just, I mean, you've been with the writing, but not your style, but your themes have, first it was more of a short, like a story for a kid, then it was like more of a guidance, now it's more of a motivational, like,
Yeah.
are like, what's next for you on the, and then we have to wrap this up. So what's next for you on your, bucket list, so to speak?
Well, two things. So I hope that, something comes up from Get Up, as in like a conference or a virtual conference, workshops. I hope to work with David and to take this on the road. That's what I'd love to do. That's first thing. Second thing is I'm actually writing a third
Road
book.
trip. You're going on tour, girl.
Road
We
trip.
need
Yeah,
any backup
exactly.
singers.
Okay. Love that. I'm also writing a third book. So, the theme is resilience, but it's completely fiction. So that is probably next year. So I have two things on the go, and also I have to focus on sales. So I have to keep writing blogs. I am featuring each of the mentors. You're coming up soon, and not tearing apart, but like just dissecting the quotes that you shared.
What did
So
I
I plan
say?
to do that. What did you say?
Something about a life's journey, right? That everything is
Yes.
that life
Yeah, I'm
gets in the
trying
way
to look at,
sometimes of your dreams, right?
I wish I had it marked here, which is so bad. Like I'm looking through the book right now and I'm like, where are you? Where are you? I
I
don't know
I
where.
have it. I have it somewhere on my phone, but because I'm actually
Oh,
on my phone, I can't find it. But it was something to do with the effect of life getting in the way of your dreams. But the actual journey is part of your dreams, because you won't attain your dreams unless you have that kind of experience. That was sort of
exactly.
where I was going with my quote. I'm sure I said it much better in writing, but
You
that was the
said it.
gist of it. And
Said it.
I'm very much a believer in that. I'm a proof, actually, that even at any age, anybody could go out and live their dream. And I'm so proud of you, because obviously you can see on what you've achieved in all these years, and I'm just so honored to have been a part of your book, and I'm so honored to have had you today on this little live chat. And we have to wrap this up, because I like to keep it short
I
and
get
sweet.
it.
But if you have any lasting thoughts on your book, on living your dreams, on exercise, if you have anything to say to everyone who's watching today, what would that be?
My advice today would be to follow your gut and just keep going. Just keep going and follow your gut. That is my advice today.
I agree. Well, it was so nice to have you on today. And I
Thank
miss
you.
and Happy New Year and
Happy
big
New Year to you too.
kisses. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
we'll be in touch. Thank you, everybody, for joining
Absolutely.
us. And if you want to follow Sharon or I, well, you're already following me, but I think we've got a bunch of people following us. So I'm waving at everyone who's joined. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
It was
Love.
amazing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Oh, now I need to figure out how to stop this live thing. So there we go. Push the button. Yeah, I think I did it. Did I do it? I don't know.
Yeah. Be careful.
Okay, I'm going to figure out how to turn this off because I'm not sure I'm still off. I'm still on. Am I still on? Maybe I am. How do I turn this off? I just push the button. What button? Everybody's talking. Hi. I don't know how to shut you off. We'll stop. Here we go. No, I'm still on. Like, how do you turn this off? And you know what it is? I'm not seeing I don't have my glasses, so I need to figure out how to, if anybody has any advice how to like shut it down. There must be okay.
Thanks.
Okay, the X.